Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it. So here's what you get. From Canada.
And from Minnesota, ?
Ryan and
Cardiff Electric. Good day and welcome to another episode of the Worst of the Best podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me today, I have a very special guest. I have with me today Mr. Cardiff Electric. Thank you for coming on the show, Cardiff.
You talking to me?
I think so. I hope so.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, it's great to actually have you on here. I've had a few people from the Who Are These podcasts or the Dabbleverse for anyone that's tracking. None of my listeners, here's the thing, Cardiff, none of my listeners know what I'm talking about. So I kind of have to explain who they are, but nobody knows who. I don't think any of my listeners are part of the Dabbleverse, but if they are, it's probably good.
Stay out. Don't Google Dabbleverse. Don't.
Well, once you say that, that's what they do. Cardiff, I've enjoyed, of course, your time with Carl and the gang, and your humor and your insights. It's very good. And I don't just say that. I wouldn't invite to have you on my show if I didn't genuinely enjoy you. And I've had Christian and Lucy and Andy and Carl himself talk music on this podcast, and I saw that you made a comment on Twitter about Mötley Crüe, and I had to talk to a mutual friend of ours, Christian, and say, is Cardiff being Cardiff silly, or is he being serious about your fandom regarding Mötley Crüe? So you are a fan of the band.
Oh no, Christian lied to you.
Oh well, this is okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming to the show. Let's get into it. What was your first album? What was the first album you started listening to with these guys?
Say probably, but almost definitely was Dr. Feelgood.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dr. Feelgood era, and then I worked my way back from there. I think it was probably perfectly aligned with when I first discovered how to scam Columbia House. Like Dr. Feelgood come out, Kickstart My Heart was the song, and then I get this Columbia House thing, and I'm like, oh, I think as a kid, I ran around school saying I got the Mötley Crüe box set. I got all 5 of the first albums. And I just called it the box set.
I think you might be the first person to ever say that regarding the first 5 albums, but that's a good box set.
That would be.
I love Columbia House. I remember doing the math. Introductory price was really good.
$29 for a CD?
Yeah, well, okay. I think you only had to buy 4 or 5 to fulfill your contract. So when you worked out when you got 10 or whatever it was for 88 cents, and then you got the other ones for overpriced, it actually worked out. You still saved about $1 a CD.
And there were actually stories about that you were actually getting a lesser quality
CD?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, or tapes. I think it was the tapes. When they used to do tapes, I think that was a story that the tapes were not as good quality. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to cancel my subscription right now. I had no idea. My first fandom was a little bit earlier. I don't know your age. I'm trying to look at your face and gauge your age, but it's hard to tell. But
how old are you? I'll give you an older or younger if you say yours.
For me?
Yeah.
I turned 50 this year.
Younger.
You're young.
Way younger. So much younger.
Okay. Well, I don't know about that. Younger. Yeah. Okay. I was going to say the only reason why I say that because I actually had my first tape of theirs was "Shout at the Devil." I don't even know how I got it. Maybe an older brother because I was only 8 years old when it came out. I was born in 75, so it came out in 83. I hid it from my mom. Under my of course it was devil crazy guys with makeup on their face, and so anyways we hid it under our bed mattress. If my mom's listening to the show, she'll be horrified, and I hope she can forgive me all these years later. But yeah, that was my first album. But then I kind of like you, I didn't really follow their career. I think there's just a time when I had that album, maybe because I was listening to Twisted Sister at the time, so it kind of fell in that same like guys with makeup singing about rebelling against their parents. I didn't own Theater Pain or Girls until I too got the Dr. Feelgood album, and then I retroactively went back to the earlier albums, back to what we're talking about today with Too Fast for Love. In fact, my first concert, Cardiff, if you'll indulge me,
please,
was Mötley Crüe. I was 14 years old. My brother was 16. We both went in Vancouver. My first concert, I did not bring earplugs. I learned after that you should bring earplugs to bands like Mötley Crüe. I bought this T-shirt, 1990, 35 years ago.
What's on the back?
Yep. The tour dates.
You son of a bitch.
This is an original Dr. Feelgood tour merch shirt. Boy, it's probably only $20 back then. And there is Vancouver. Yeah, on the back right here.
I've been actually trying to replace that shirt for years.
What do you mean?
I had it. Like I don't know what happened to all my shirts. I think my mom threw them out at one point.
Oh,
but that was one that I did have. That was my favorite.
Oh, well.
What size is it?
Well, put it this way. I'm wearing this one, the Mötley Crüe farewell tour short. It fits a little bit bigger. I did buy this when I was 14, so give me a little bit of credit. I could probably slip it on and it'd fit okay.
I'll take it. I accept.
Okay. Well, message me after. Send me a... What's the things that we're supposed to send?
Venmo.
Venmo. Okay. All those things. Yeah. So, all right. So that was my first album. I'm sorry. My first concert was the Dr. Feelgood tour. Was that your first tour? I should ask.
Oh, I actually never made it to that tour. I was a little too young to go. I had older sisters and brothers and stuff like that, but no one was going to take me.
Right.
Mötley Crüe. They're like, get out of here. I didn't go to that tour, and I didn't end up getting to see Mötley Crüe live till Generation Swine.
So you saw that tour?
I saw that tour.
Interesting tour to see. Because that would have been the reunion tour with Vince, so to speak. That's his first. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So 94, I wanted to go see that. Like I met John and Tommy at Much Music. I don't know if you've heard of this place called Much Music.
Yeah, I have. Met. That's cool. How did that happen? I really want to hear that story.
Well, they were just there doing like the Pepsi Power Hour or whatever.
So my gosh, flashback Pepsi Power Hour. Yes. I love how much music they can only give us 1 hour of good music, a day, the Power Hour.
I think it eventually got rolled down to 30 minutes.
Probably.
I think it was just a 30-minute Power Hour at some point.
Awesome. So you met John and Tom, and were you inside the studio when they're doing the interview?
No, they came out after. They signed autographs on the way out. Tommy was kind of out pretty quick and in the limo. And I remember John just standing out there, hanging out with everybody, talking to everybody, signing more autographs. Like Tommy's in the limo yelling at him, let's go. Let's get out of here. But that tour, that was probably before the album was even released. They went and did some promotion on Much Music. But the closest the tour ever almost got would have been Buffalo. And then that show ended up getting canceled.
Really? Ticket sales, I wonder?
Yeah. It just wasn't working. And all the stuff I've seen online, like the videos from those shows with John, were fantastic. Like, I would have loved to have seen that.
That's an interesting era for Mötley Crüe, obviously for a couple of reasons. One, Vince is out, and nobody celebrated. At least I didn't. I was raised with these guys in many ways. I truly loved their albums from Dr. Feelgood right to the debut album, which we are talking about today, folks. We're getting to it, but it's fun to geek out with somebody without having to do any kind of research. This is just fandom. So I will say this to our listeners. This isn't a Wikipedia episode, meaning, this is more of a fandom talk. So if you want to get into the weeds of, this or that, of course, this is just two people talking about the Crüe. So when Mötley Crüe's 94 album came out, self-titled, I admit I was heartbroken that Vince wasn't part of the album, but objectively, as a heavy or hard rock enjoyer of music, it's a really good album.
It's in their top 3.
And I mentioned this too in our Twitter chat, it's like Axl Rose's Chinese Democracy. That's a really good album, but is it a good Guns? Like, it's not Guns N' Roses, but it's Axl Rose, and this isn't really Mötley Crüe, but it's a different singer. Meaning, it's good music. I wonder if they had labeled it differently, it would have been more embraced by people. What do you think?
See, to me, and this is if we get to Mötley Crüe today, you'll learn that I am bitter because to me, Mötley Crüe was always Mick Mars.
Tell me, what are your thoughts on Johnny Five taking over for Mick?
Well, I love John Five. John Five is fantastic. If somebody had to replace Mick Mars, he's a fantastic guy to replace Mick Mars. But I don't like how it happened. I don't like what happened. When Mötley Crüe told me the final tour, I believed the final tour, right? Exactly. It was, there's a lot of people in a lot of groups that are pissed off that their final tour shirt is worthless now. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's Ozzy's No More Tours too.
Shame on me for believing it. I truly believed it. When they showed their signatures on these
They signed a contract. Come on. How could they not?
I should have known better. I guess it just doesn't mean anything, really.
They got you. Mötley Crüe got me into playing guitar. Hearing Dr. Feelgood, and listening to Too Fast for Love probably was the first album I tried playing front to back it was made for how I wanted to play guitar, I guess. But anyway, Mick Mars was always the Mick Mars sound. That was Mötley Crüe to me. So the 94 album was still Mick Mars to me. It was still right. So
interesting.
Bummed when Vince got kicked out or quit, whatever. But we very quickly got a solo album from Vince. That was awesome.
It was pretty good. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Steve Stevens was it was great. It was. So I was like, okay, good. Vince is good. Let's see what these guys got. And I was I was following the drama through Metal Edge magazine and Circus magazine. Wait, when's this album coming out? When's this album coming out? And then finally it comes out. And I remember watching Hooligan's Holiday. The video was that was the first time I had heard anything from the album. I was like,
it's heavy.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It had like the video, everything. It was like the Clockwork Orange shit. This is the shit.
Yeah.
But nobody else cared.
I did.
Okay, you did. The rest of the 90s said, go fuck yourself, Mötley Crüe. We don't want you. Can I swear, by the way?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I want you to speak freely. Yeah, the problem with the album was just the wrong time with I would say not the wrong singer, because it's the wrong title, maybe, because the idea was it's self-titled. What's this supposed to? It's like a new beginning. This is a new beginning with our new singer. Every track on that's really good. Like, it's just a good hard rock album.
Yeah.
John Crowley's playing guitar. He's got good vocals. He doesn't have that hair metal divaness, and that's all the boys in the band kind of toned it down, because now they're fighting grunge. This is a tricky era too, because now hair metal's gone. We have to come in hard and heavy. I think objectively people like this album, but in fact, a lot of fans will talk about this album almost being the best Mötley Crüe, because musically it's just so good. And like you're saying, that's due to a large part, of course, to Mick's playing, his guitar solo work, and crunchiness and everything.
I agree.
Okay, you agree.
I think we were lying to ourselves if we thought anything they were going to put out in 1994 was going to be a commercial success anyway. The world had moved on at that point from the likes of Mötley Crüe. There were still fans, obviously.
Of course.
But there were other things happening that people were listening to musically. It was never going to be what it was, which it became later as it became retro, and it was cool to like 80s stuff again. But at that point, it was, ew.
Well, that's where we're at now. Funny enough, it's bands like Def Leppard, of course, even Mötley Crüe now still, despite their farewell tour, even though grunge, so to speak, killed hair metal, these quote-unquote hair metal bands, Poison, they still do very well business-wise. There's still large crowds. So I don't know if grunge actually killed it today, but there was a bit of a
put in a coma.
Yeah, it did put in a coma. Fair enough. Well, before we get to Too Fast for Love, let's do I'm actually curious your quick thoughts on Vince's return with Generation Swine, because I know this album's really maligned. I actually think there's some really great songs on this. What are your thoughts on Generation Swine?
I like it better than probably most of the stuff that came after it.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's, I mean, it's Afraid. I listen to Afraid over and over again.
That's a great song. Yeah.
Okay. Brandon can suck a bag of dicks.
Which one? Oh,
Brandon.
Okay, Brandon. Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of, and that was, what was the one that irked me the most? I love the band, but there's a lot of things they've done over the years that irk me.
Okay, well, here's a couple songs that I like from this. I legit really like. Afraid is great. I think Find Myself at the opening is kind of a fun punk, kind of song to open up with. And Rat Like Me, I think Rat Like Me is a great song too.
Yeah, those are good songs, but I forgot what song they put on. I think it was Black Beauty. They put it on the greatest hits, the 99 greatest hits.
Oh, they did?
And I was like, really? Like,
that's awesome.
Come on, like, who needed extra publishing money for that? It was a weird choice. But again, I want to go back to 91, Decade of Decadence, where I was like, really? You're putting out a pretty much a greatest hits album? Like, you're out of steam already, guys? Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Little trivia here. Fellow Canadian Bryan Adams co-wrote Glitter. I don't know if you recall that.
Talks. That's another piece of shit, though. There are a couple pieces of shit on that album, but there were some good songs.
There are good songs. Yeah, put this way, if it's not a good song, it's a crappy song.
Bryan Adams also appeared on Dr. Feelgood. Did you know that?
Yes, he did. Who else appeared on? What other guest singer appeared on it?
Steven Tyler.
There you go. You know your crew. Okay.
Metal Edge Magazine.
The second tour I saw was the new Tattoo tour. I actually saw the tour with the whole drummer. The drummer.
Oh, yeah, so did I. I saw that one.
Oh.
I was at the one where they recorded the Crüe Fest video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What
venue? In Minnesota.
Was that where it was?
Yeah, in Toronto.
Okay, cool. I saw it in Seattle. It was when they did a triple bill with Anthrax and Megadeth.
Oh, really?
It was Anthrax, Megadeth, the Mötley Crüe in that order. Is that a weird bill?
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
It was a great show. I'm a fan of all three bands. To me, it's like three bands for the price of one. I loved it. Great show. It was at the Gorge.
We had Megadeth. Oh, wait. So I'm thinking of a different tour. Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. That wasn't the Crüe Fest one with Samantha Mahoney on drums. But yeah, that was Megadeth opening, but no Anthrax. Yeah, that was just a rare one for them,
maybe. I don't know if that was the whole tour, because, as you know, sometimes different legs of the tour will have different acts that join the band. But yeah, Anthrax was a part of that leg anyways, yeah.
I just remember Megadeth, like Mötley Crüe, even then still had a pretty big stage set up, and it was pretty whatever. And then Megadeth comes out, and I knew Megadeth. I liked Megadeth. I really was excited to see them, and it was just Megadeth with a flag, Megadeth, and they just came out and they played for 45 minutes and they were gone. It was just like,
yeah. I've seen them live 5 times actually. I'm a big fan, but I admit they're not a Kiss show, if that makes sense. They're not about the lights and the stuff. They play their music, played hard, and they leave. Exactly. Finally, the last official studio album, and I think it'll probably be the last one we ever get from them, full-length album, 2008, Saints of Los Angeles. I mean, I hate to say it, and I hate rating the albums like this, but this might be their worst album.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of the problem with that album is a lot of it was written by Nicky and, like, it wasn't a DJ Ashba and 6 a.m. guys 6 like that. It wasn't a Mötley Crüe album. 94 was more of a Mötley Crüe album than Saints of Los Angeles was.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The last 8 songs or 7 songs are literally all the band members from 6 a.m.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure what Mick played on a lot. Like a lot of it doesn't sound like Mick. It doesn't. It's not.
It's a weird one. Now, I do have a question for you. This is controversial. Couple. What is the deal with Nikki Sixx's bass playing accusations? You've heard the backing tracks. I've even heard people say he doesn't even play on the studio albums. I've heard stuff like that. Is there any truth to that? Do you believe it? Or
I started playing bass in a band because I saw how easy Nicky made it. Right? Like there's something to his style that's pretty simplistic, which I like. Right? Like it's just kind of pounding bass lines and very repetitive and just very, very, a lot of times just, some bass players kind of play to they kind of have a groove with the drummer, where Nicky's more of mimicking the guitar and filling out the guitar sound, like having a one guitar band, right? So nothing he plays is that complicated, really, especially the first 5 albums. Well, maybe Dr. Feelgood's a little more complicated. Everything else is pretty basic. So it just doesn't make sense to me that even just somebody who's owned a bass for as long as Nikki Sixx couldn't play those songs, right? Like unless there was some injury, it's just like when he wasn't even in the band for 3 years, when we had Frank Farana, or not Frank Farana. What the hell was the guy's name?
Oh, I forget. That was a dark time.
Yes.
Nicky is Mötley Crüe, and of course any Crüe fan knows that he writes the music and lyrics. At the very least, he's the composer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, kind of ran out of gas. I still say so. If you look at a lot of the best songs, it's not just Nicky. It's usually Nicky and Mick,
right?
On a lot of the stuff. Tommy on some stuff too. Vince, obviously. When it's Nicky and Mick, like a lot of Girls was Nicky and Mick.
Right.
I just have a distaste for Nicky.
You do, eh? Okay. He's an interesting character. I would say he's a difficult personality. Tommy is the most fun. Mick's the most professional. Vince he's the most rock star frontman. Like he just really does fit that role. You're right. Nicky is very polarizing. Like, I don't know if he's a good guy or not. It's hard to say. I've seen enough interviews where I don't like it when celebrity, well, especially when celebrities, when they act almost too big for their britches. Like, settle down. You're a bass player.
He's got a little douche to him.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm a fan, but he's got some douche to him. I get it.
Oh, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan, but for me to say that I would like to hang out with Axl Rose in his heyday back when he was 20 something, no, thank you. Like, I would have no desire to be around that Axl. Today's Axl Rose, maybe I think he's way softer now, but 28-year-old Axl, I would not want to hang out with.
I gotta say, I have it somewhere, and I'm going off topic. I apologize.
Oh, that's fine.
Did you ever listen to Howard Stern?
I'm very familiar with him, but I didn't listen to him. But I've heard a lot of interviews. I go on YouTube and do a lot. Yeah, so yes, but not religiously. Yeah.
There was I came across it not too long ago. A video of it was a Howard Stern clip. It was just audio, but it was Axl Rose and Sebastian Bach calling in from their hotel room.
Oh, right.
And it's like 7 in the morning in the East, and they're in LA somewhere. So it's probably like 4:30 in the morning, but just hearing Axl in a way I'd never heard him before.
Okay.
Right? Like this is 3 a.m. smashed out of his mind, just having fun with his buddy. So it was kind of fun to listen to.
Oh, I'll see if I can find. I haven't heard that one. I know that Sebastian and Axl are huge friends of each other. Yeah. I will look for that. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, for those who are listening to this for the first time, I suspect a couple of your fans of your shows. Which, you know what, Cardiff, my apologies. Before people log off because they're tired of me already, not of you, but of me.
Yes.
Tell them before they leave where they can find you, what you do on the interwebs.
I do everything.
Oh,
you can find me on Twitter at Cardiff Elect. On Instagram at Cardiff Elect. YouTube at Cardiff Elect. YouTube was banned. There's a whole story behind that.
Let's get into it. Let's no, just okay.
And patreon.com/Cardiff Electric. Those are all the
okay.
Add Cardiff Elect in most places.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
I noticed you for the longest time, because you are a very powerful celebrity in the Dabbleverse. And I know it's a power move not to follow anybody. And for the longest time, you didn't follow anybody. And then I noticed you followed one person, Epcot Center.
Yes.
May I ask why? Why were they chosen worthy to be the one person you follow?
Well, so I've told a lot of my origin story.
Okay.
I've just never told all of it in one place. So there's bits and pieces all over the internet. In 100 years, if somebody is deciding, what's this potato thing from 2020s? What was this? And they start trying to piece things together, they're going to have to look all over the fucking place.
Okay.
But the name Cardiff Electric came from a TV show. Before I had a character or anything, I was a fan of this TV show called Halt and Catch Fire. And the company's name was Cardiff Electric.
I've heard it's a good show.
It actually was until the end, like most shows, but
sure, yeah,
kind of fell off. It's about a computer company in the 80s. I think they were mirroring their kind of pretending to be compact computers in the 80s. And I was always a fan of the Epcot Center Twitter account and how just ridiculous it was.
Okay.
So that's not Epcot Center. That's not the actual park. It's just a parody account that tweets just these weird random, like there'd be things like, hey, big pat on the back to everybody at Epcot. It's been 472 days since someone died. Good job. Like it was just these stupid tweets, right?
Okay. All right.
So, Epcot would never say and whatever.
Okay.
But that kind of became my inspiration where I said, I wonder what it would be like if a computer company from the 80s called Cardiff Electric had a Twitter account and was live tweeting the show.
Oh.
So I used to watch the show. I think it was Sunday nights. I'd watch the show and live tweet the show. And I got to the point where I actually had creators and stars of the show following me on Twitter just because it was kind of building like it was funny that you could be watching Halt and Catch Fire and then the computer company Cardiff Electric is tweeting at the same time. Like, it was a dumb concept. The show went away and that Twitter account just got shelved, whatever. And then when I was getting into the Dabbleverse, I was like, I got this Twitter account with like 400 followers from 2 years ago or 3 years or whatever it was. It'll be just a weird thing where this account comes out of nowhere and starts tweeting at Stuttering John. And here we are. So people think there's some meaning behind the name Cardiff. It just
there is. That's actually a good story. I didn't know that story. Thank you for sharing. And for our listeners, my listeners, I guess, Cardiff, for your visual mind,
potato.
He's a floating potato. Come check out the YouTube video. It's easier if you just see him. Yeah. I'll probably even put your face in the thumbnail. So people who listen to this just on their phones without the visual, they'll get to see how handsome you are. And okay. That's a great story. I didn't know that.
So yeah, sorry. I'm following Epcot, just kind of an homage. They don't even tweet anymore. It's just I'm being a douche.
And now you comment on Chad Zumach. Your life has come full circle. This is amazing.
Full circle, yes. I've fallen to the bottom of the Dabbleverse.
Okay, so we're going to get into the debut album of Mötley Crüe's Too Fast for Love. If you can believe it, this album came out in 1981.
I do believe it.
Man, 44 years. Is that right? Is my math right? 44 years ago.
That would be 44 years. Yes.
That's a long time. So I was 6 years old when this came out. Definitely wasn't listening to it. Okay, so Too Fast for Love. Like you, I went back in time. I was listening to Dr. Feelgood, of course, Girls, Girls, Girls. I think Too Fast for Love, of the first 5 albums, was the last one I listened to.
I think I got Dr. Feelgood. I ordered the CDs from Columbia House. I want to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Like I'm a start from the, so yeah, I think I went right to this. And by then I think I'd heard songs.
Yeah, like Livewire had the music video. Yeah.
You kind of found some other stuff too, but it was like, holy shit, what is this?
When I went to the Dr. Feelgood tour, I knew older stuff. When I go to concerts, I'm a fan. I'm not a hits fan. I want to hear deeper cuts. I understand they have to play, quote unquote, every band has to play the hits. I get it. It's a business. But when Mötley Crüe plays Red Hot at a show, I'm like, whoa, they're playing Red Hot. Like, I'm really excited by that.
I agree. It's hard. I'm just going to agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, feel free to disagree with. In fact, So again, if you're listening to this for the first time, what we do on the show is we pick something that's the best. So it could be a best-selling album. It could be your favorite album. It also could be an artist. It could be a food item. We could do our favorite potato dishes. It doesn't matter what that list is. No matter what list you make, it's kind of like a ranking. There's something from that's a favorite of yours, or whether, like I said, it's an actor, a musical talent, whoever it is, that even though it's great, you love it, there's something at the bottom of it, and you can still love that thing. So what we're doing today, Cardiff, is we're going to go track by track, just talk about our feelings about the song. We're not going to give any kind of like great insight unless you have. you might have some insights of the songs. Please share them if you have like trivia. I did do like legit research. I couldn't really find any trivia. I did read the book The Dirt. Oh yeah, we should have spoken about that. Have you read their biography, The Dirt?
I have.
Yeah, me too. Okay,
barely. I'm not a reader though.
Oh, okay.
The Dirt wasn't a revelation for me.
Sure.
Again, a lot of it was stories. Again, I've got Ryan. If I'll invite you over one day, I have a giant box of Metal Edge magazines. Like I've read and Circus magazine. I spent every penny I had on magazines and stuff. So I was always consuming Mötley Crüe stuff all through that. Like as soon as I learned about them, I was collecting everything. Like give
That's
me
awesome.
I want. So a lot of the stories, I'm like, okay, I know. Yeah. People were like, "Did you hear Ozzy?" And he stiffed.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
30 times. I've got that. That's Metal Edge, 1990. Like whatever. It's so nothing was like kind of that
revolutionary or revelatory. Sort of. What's the word you see now?
Revelatory.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want anyone to clip the show and say we can't speak words properly. I don't know what kind of podcast would clip shows. Who would clip shows and make fun of the way they talk? I don't know.
Shut up, Carl.
Okay, so yeah, I'm like you. There was very few things from that book. I can't remember. I read it, bought the hardcover. I still own it. I should have brought that out too, but people don't want to be bored with that. Yeah,
the movie was fun.
The movie was fun. There's one scene from the book where I knew they couldn't put in the movie, and I've got to be very careful here. Do you remember the telephone call scene in the book from the hotel room?
Oh, and who was talking on the telephone?
Yeah, where they put the telephone. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so I'm like, they probably won't put that in the next Netflix show. So I don't, and they didn't. That might be a little bit too much. Though they did put a lot of pretty hard R-rated. Film. Yeah. It's
good. I liked it though.
It was good. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, folks, is we're gonna play little parts of each song, talk about our feelings, and at the end, independent of each other, and just a reminder, Cardiff, when we're going through the songs, don't say, and this is why this one's my least favorite. Like, we'll wait till the very end. We'll reveal what we think is our least favorite song and why. It doesn't mean that the song sucks. It just means that's the exercise. Is you have to. The producers have come to you and said, Cardiff, great album, but they want this album to be 8 songs, not 9.
Well, I'm going to ask you here. What release of this album are we going with? Okay, what's included in this? And that's okay. Come on, we have to address if there's going to be rules.
There is rules. Okay. We're picking the Elektra release. One, because it's the one that I owned, and it's the one I listened to growing up. And I know there's the leather release. Do you want to speak to the original versus the Elektra version? I should have consulted with you before the show started. The reason why we're doing the Elektra version is that was the one I was raised with.
That was the one everyone had. Like you had to hunt out the other one.
Right. This is how it works. Had we done the leather version, I would have taken out "Stick to Your Guns," worst song on the album. And that's why I think, yeah. So it gives you a little bit of idea where I'm standing right now. So had we done the leather version, the original release, that would have been my pick. And I can almost see why that song didn't make the Elektra cut.
I had a friend of mine growing up. There were 2 of us that we talked Mötley Crüe a lot. There were other guys too, but there was one that we really got deep. We ended up getting in bands together and playing for many years. I don't talk to him anymore. He's dead to me, but whatever.
Oh, wow.
No, not really. We don't talk, but he's not dead to me.
I know.
These things you had to hunt out. Like, I think maybe we found a really crappy copy of a bootleg of a bootleg of a bootleg of one of the songs. And then Toast of Your Town, I don't know if you ever heard Pretty Boy Floyd. They were like a very cheesy, I know what I'm saying here when I say this. Take Mötley Crüe Theater of Pain years and throw them over the top. And that's Pretty Boy Floyd. Okay.
Like an earlier version of Steel Panther, but without the irony.
Yeah. They were a legit band, and they were a legit Mötley Crüe fan. They covered a bunch of Mötley Crüe songs, but one of the songs they covered was "Toast of the Town" because they knew, and I think they knew it from L.A. Like they had the original version of the song. So the first time I actually heard "Toast of the Town" was a cover of it. I'm like, I gotta find this song. This song is so cool. But me and my buddy, we always thought first "Toast of the Town." Is it "Toast of the Town" or "Toast of Your Town" now? Now I'm confusing myself.
I think it's "Toast of the Town."
Yeah, it is "Toast of the Town." And "Stick to Your Guns." We always thought they sounded so out of place.
Yes, I agree.
Almost like they were written by different people.
Right.
But we both thought they should have been on Too Fast for Love.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I don't want you to give away any answers. So you were shocked when I said "Stick to Your Guns."
I love it. I love it. I know it's got a weird
Yes, it sounds like a 1950s. It's almost like if yeah, there's a little bit of 1950s bop to it, which is not a bad thing, but it does sort of, like you were saying, sticks out a little bit. Doesn't make it a bad song, but the theme of the album, I kind of see why they might have taken it out.
Yeah,
it's fair. It's fair. So here we go. Like I said, we're going to play a little bit of each song.
So Live Wire is my favorite. You're going to start with that one, right?
No, we don't.
Oh, no, wait, format. Oh, and I have a fun fact for you, by the way.
Oh, sure. I'm all for it.
Do you know this?
Cardiff Electric, the most famous podcast in the world today. Cardiff Electric, he's so cool, come out and play. He's the guy all the other guys are jealous of.
The Cardiff Electric theme song. If you remember the original, I actually stole it from the Girls, Girls, Girls alternate version of Nona.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Which nobody knows, because nobody ever listened to the original version of Nona. Why would you listen
are you
to
kidding? I love that. I love that song. It's
do you?
Great... Girls, Girls, Girls is an interesting album, but I love Nona. I think it's a great song. Live Wire. Of course, if you've seen the music video, the classic scene of Nikki Sixx with the flaming pants.
Yeah, burned himself many times learning how to. And I burned myself trying to light my pants on fire with lighter fluid.
Oh, did you try to mimic that? Or
yes, yes, I did, like an idiot.
Oh,
didn't work.
That's crazy.
Shouldn't do it with denim.
Kids at home, don't light your pants on fire, please.
Yeah. Not. It's dumb.
Free, a little bit better than it used to be, 'cause I'm alive.
All right.
Go get my guitar.
Yeah, please. Yeah, play along. You're the first guest I've had who truly sang along there, Cardiff. That's very cool.
Yeah. No, I'm legit. Like,
I believe you. You're not a liar, pants on fire.
No, not in this case. I lie a lot, and that's the thing. As I do a stupid character.
Yes, I know. That's why I had to reach out to Christian. I was like, is he telling the truth about Mötley Crüe? Because I think he'd be perfect if he's not. I mean, if you're not joking, you'd be great. So
I'm not. I'm going to take the. You know what? I'm for your show, Ryan. I'm taking the filter off because I'm just me.
Are you sure?
This time, yes. Doing it. Yeah. Screw you. It's for my Patreon.
I was getting a little bit nervous there. I was like, no, I don't think I'm worth it, Cardiff. I don't think I'm worth it.
You make headlines. You make national news.
Oh boy. Yeah, so great opening track, great opening chord right away. Opening track, you're just headbanging right away. Tommy's drums. I'm not a drummer. I'm not a musician. But it sounds like double bass.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a double kick on that.
Okay. I kind of feel sorry for Vince, and I'll tell you why. Because he can actually sing, and I think we know what's happened in the later years. Part of it, we just get older. Like I said, Axl Rose is a good example. He just can't sing anymore. And I hate it when people just make fun of somebody because they can't do what they can't do anymore. Maybe they should retire. I understand that. But Vince can actually legitimately sing. If you've seen some early stuff of his in the 80s and stuff, he was singing. Go on YouTube and check out like the Dr. Phil, the tour that I saw, the first tour. He was amazing then. Like he sounded just like the album. So I know his voice. I don't know and he was singing the lyrics too. And I know he's become a parody of himself, which is sad. I don't know why he doesn't even sing the lyrics at least, even if he can't quite sing the way he used to. I don't know why he doesn't do the lyrics. But this album right away with the high lyrics, no auto-tune. What do you think of Vince's vocals overall?
You're not going to find me saying a lot of bad about anything on this album. It was perfect for the song. It was perfect for everything. And it just made it. Yeah, maybe I'm a bad example. Maybe you don't want somebody who's like such a fanboy.
Okay.
Because it's like, it's great. It's the
Well,
best.
no. Well, no, this is good because I'm going to be very interested to hear what song you have to get rid of at the end. So it's going to be might be tough for you.
But yeah, no, I love the song. I love Vince's voice on it. Mick, obviously the guitar. And like I said, even if you go back, Nicky was just kind of basic thumping along.
Right.
Just
if it was him playing.
If it was him.
There's no way that he can get away with it. All the engineers, everyone that's worked on these albums, there's no way he could pull that wool over. It would get out. It would have to get out.
Oot.
Sorry, I said it wrong as a Canadian. My apologies. Oot.
I mean, all those people are also connected to keeping it real, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody in the circus knows what's really happening, but they don't tell you.
That's true.
The circus.
All right, here we go. This is the part of the song where it slows down a little bit, and then it goes into the Vince scream.
Come on, baby, gotta play with me. Well, I'm your live wire. Better lock your doors. I'm on a prowl tonight. Well, be mine tonight.
There we go. Great scream, great intro, great first song. I mean, I wonder what it was like to be back there in 1981. Some 15-year-old kid picks up this LP and puts it on his record player, and he's like, holy smokes, what do we got here? I wonder who bought this album blind.
Probably a gay dude.
Oh, okay. All right,
I mean, you got
enough.
the leather pants and everything, the crotch shot.
What's
I mean,
wrong with that?
I'm guessing nothing wrong with that.
You
but-
know what that's in reference to? Of course, the famous album.
Oh, the Sticky Fingers.
Yeah. It's a great shot, though.
I love the logo like that because that logo is so reproducible. As an
Right.
idiot who can't draw, like you can get a ruler and make this logo.
That's what I did with
Right.
Twisted Sister all the time, with the T and the S. I did that on my books all the time as a kid. The Twisted Sister logo, yeah.
Nikki Sixx would always talk about this album again in interviews. You know, we were really a punk band at the time. Do you get a punk vibe from this album? Like he
Not
always
at
talks
all.
about this
That's
as
weird.
punk. So I guess it's more Nikki wants to be
I think so.
in a punk band, but I hear more pop.
It's
like
a very
more the
poppy
upbeat.
sound.
And I don't want to call it metal, but it's not punk. There was no, I don't think there was anything else like this.
It's a unique sounding album for sure.
Yeah, there's other albums, you know, that were big or whatever that sound like other albums, but this and I'd say Shout to me are very unique.
Oh, yeah.
sounds.
It's a mixed tone on this album. It's different than any of the albums. It's not as, quote, heavy or crunchy, but it is at the same time.
It's tinny.
Tinny, that's the
Tinny
word,
and crunchy. It's like this is what I set again, learn to play guitar. It's how I wanted my guitar to sound. I'd always turn my amps the exact same way, so it kind of sounded like mix. I took a lot of the middle out.
Okay. By all means, talk about the music that you did. I just don't know how to play anything, so when you say those things,
I turn the knobs on my amp with the equalizer to kind of
Okay.
get it as close as I can to this, to the
Oh, I
mix
see.
sound from this album. And I'll
Okay.
play live wire, just okay, got it. That's what I want.
Cardiff, who would you say your Public Enemy number one to the most in the Dabbleverse?
That's a great segue into their next song. But I would say Stuttering John Blinders.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, Stuttering John.
Just see. Oh, that's not the right song. You know, I screwed up.
What?
I was looking at the leather track listing.
Mm.
Yes, my apologies, folks. That segue was great, but it was the wrong song. Because the leather.
Cut that part out.
We're just gonna have to edit that out. So the second song is actually "Come On and Dance," which we were listening to that. So Elektra took out "Stick to Your Guns" and they changed the order of the list. So shame on me. I apologize.
Was Toaster Town on the leather version? Or leather
No, it wasn't. It was
version? Just Stick to Your Guns.
Yeah. They had "Stick to Your Guns." I said, and they took it out. So it was a 10. They had 10 songs, 5 on side A, 5 on side B. But they're like, nope, we're taking out "Stick to Your Guns," and we're going to make the track listing a little bit different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's even, I don't know if you know how deep you go with all the Canadian versions. And
That was interesting. So my understanding is that Crüe, one of their earliest tours was Canada, and Elektra had taken over. They signed Mötley Crüe, but they didn't have Elektra records yet, like with the Elektra symbol. Oh, how did that work? Didn't they put Elektra symbols on the leather album before it was re-recorded?
no, I think what I always heard, they just took the masters from the leather recording
Okay.
and just pressed that by accident. And like the first batch for Canada went out, and then the next batch they caught up. So there's different covers, There's different
That's
track
crazy.
listings. There's ones where the record's right, but they printed the old track listing. Like there's all these different weird Canadian versions of this album.
Who has that, I wonder?
I have one. I have one of the Canadian kind of with stick to your guns on it. So it has
Oh.
a leather mix.
Okay, cool.
I hate that the mix is different. The song's a little bit different. It's not a big deal.
It sounds a little bit
Give me
different. I will say the electric version, it does sound more polished, a little bit better, objectively. Just I understand there's like there is love for the leather because it was the original. I get it, and it's the original release. But for today's show, I actually went and listened to the leather. Just some of the tracks, just to hear audibly some of the difference. There is a bit of difference. I kind of lean towards the more polished version of Electra. Come On and Dance is track number 2. My apologies. Here we go.
Another great opening of this album.
Rush into my love, into overdrive. Because the pink is not a bigger price. When she's hot, well damn she's hot. Electric long like Sandra Dee. You should have seen her dance. Come on and dance. Come on and dance.
So Cowbell,
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Cowbell in Livewire.
and he does it in the first. I don't think there's as much cowbell that Tommy does on the second side, but I feel like the first few songs seems to have a lot of cowbell. I don't know why, and this one in particular. This is a song you don't think it's going to go where it goes, and then it does, and it's just a great first verse. I just love the way Vince sings it. The lyrics aren't very deep. You know, she had long legs like Sandra Dee, but when she's hot, well, damn, she's hot. I just love it. I love these simple young lyrics from young guys. Come on and dance.
I interrupted the intro. It's a great intro. It's a great start to a song.
We can talk over it, but you might not hear if that's okay. But if you do, you get excited, Cardiff. It's okay to get excited.
It's definitely not one I'm dropping off.
This is
Spoilers.
Stop spoiling. I've got to rein you in, Cardiff. I'll tell you, there will be one song. This is what I usually do with these music episodes. Is there's a song on here where I will say when we get to it, it's just such a good song. If it made anyone's worst list, I would question their fandom of.
And we
Crüe.
haven't heard it yet. It's not Livewire.
That's right. That's correct. Okay.
I have a guess.
All right. So the next part of the song, which I really like, is solo, of course.
She took my love into overdrive. What goes to big, now breathe out.
So that cowbell effect is so great in that part. I don't know how people do it, but here you have a song and you're already drumming. So you already got the beat going for the band. But I love how the idea is like, this is a good part to do this cowbell. Like, I don't know how you or one gets to that part of their creative brain saying, hit the cowbell there the way they do it. It always amazes me that people can compose this stuff.
You bring that up, but I'm a big Mötley Crüe fan. So when they put out all the special versions with all the old demos of stuff, I love listening to the demo of a song that I know very well.
Okay.
Right. And it's funny because you hear the early demos of a Dr. Feelgood or of a Girl's Girl. They're very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're very simple. And you could see, I guess, listening to the song over and over, just Tommy can add in that little cowbell here, and it becomes part of the song eventually when you're doing these in the studio. Like when you hear the demo, that's the song that they all got together and said, hey, here's a song we wrote and let's record a demo. When it gets into the studio, then you can enhance, right? Like you can develop it. And again, eventually it becomes what they play live. Obviously you want to hear the album version. Hearing a demo, hearing a song go from demo to studio version is interesting.
That's a great way of doing it. You're right. It's more polished. And speaking of the recording of this album, this was a very quick recording. I think a matter of days.
The budget was like $700 or $800, or was it?
Like just like a couple thousand at the time or whatever. So I guess just enough to rent the studio space. So it's pretty impressive that they came in and laid down these tracks in such short order. Now, granted, This Is the Electra. Not all these songs were redone. They weren't all redone. I think Come On and Dance was one of the ones they re-recorded because it's shorter. And the outro, like the leather version, I listened to that today to see why is it shorter. It was just a longer outro. It wasn't a very strong outro. They just tightened it. They just ended quicker. They didn't do the long outro.
But I think that's why this is such a good album, because they didn't fuck around with it in the studio for weeks at a time. They just got in and got out, put down what they played, and
something special about bands' first albums. I think that's it just too, because you're coming in every band. You think of every band, any band that you're a fan of. It's usually the first two albums. I hate to say it. The first album of, hey, here we are. And the second album is like, oh, you really like that? Now we have time to kind of. So sophomore efforts are also really good albums too.
They're making money by the third album, and it's hard when rich guys are trying to write songs for.
Yeah, because there's no talk about how tough things are, how tough it is to get laid, or to scratch out your next meal, or to find fans at the bar that you're playing in. There's something to be said about hunger and art for sure. Hey, Cardiff, who's your Public Enemy number one?
Great question. I think it's Stuttering John Melendez.
So we were talking about the sound of this album, and this is a very poppy song. The singing style is of Vince, not the guitar playing of Mick.
The drums are very, very, again, very upbeat.
Yeah. And I love the rolling riff that Mick does. I don't know what you call that riff. It's just the way it seems to slide and roll. The way it sounds so cool. The effect it uses.
Well, it didn't use a ton of effect either, especially on this album.
Styling, maybe. What I'm looking for you. Okay.
But yeah, this is very basic. Probably why it was probably the best. Is the best.
I went on YouTube today looking at comments, and there's a lot of comments of people. This is their favorite album for sure.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Shout's amazing too. That's tough for me. But yeah, I think Too Fast is better.
And that's just it. I think maybe pound for pound, this is a great album. Maybe their greatest album. I think song for song, note for note. But then you get to stuff like, of course, that whole first 2/3 of the song Kickstart My Heart. There's something about that whole song where that's almost the perfect hard rock song. I don't know how you beat Kickstart My Heart.
I can tell you how.
Oh,
well, you can't, but I was just talking about this with somebody 2 days ago. You ever been to Universal Studios in Orlando? You ever do the rockin' coaster, the Rip Rocket ride or whatever it was called?
I went when I was 15. I don't remember. It was a while back.
It's a roller coaster and it has like a very steep drop. It's not 90 degrees drop. It looks like it's a 90-degree drop. It's crazy. You're locked into your seat, and I think it was called the Rock and Roller Coaster then, or something like that. But you had a little screen in front of you, and you could pick a song to listen to while you rode. And you had speakers in the headrest. So you're immersed in it. You're not hearing anyone else's song. You're just hearing your song.
Okay.
And Kickstart My Heart was one of the songs. And it's just so perfect as a roller coaster ride. And like the song really kicks in as you hit the down drop, I guess.
That's cool. Oh, that's a great idea.
Such a great experience. I'd get on the ride. Guys, you got to try Kickstart My Heart. I'm like selling it to people.
You get like royalties off it. How many times?
But yeah, it's great on that ride.
Well, there you go. You're right. That's how you top it. This next part here, this is the bass line I was referring to when I mixed up my notes here. This bass line here. one thing I noticed with the solos on this album is the band behind Mick. They're all really supporting each other. This is a band and an album where everyone is fully invested in the quality of the songs. You can feel the support. Everyone's on board. Everyone's playing top tier. Mick's playing his solos. I feel like everything is driving with each other in perfect harmony.
Yeah, they were a band. As the years went on, they grew apart.
Yeah, there should be a rule that bands should not record in studio together. I think there's magic lost because you hear about that, right? The lead singer comes in, drops his vocals, or
yeah.
or
I thought you were saying it the other way around. I'm like, wait, what? You want?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, basically, everyone should record live in studio together.
Yeah,
I think it's the way you need to do it. And I think stuff is lost when, from 2 to 4, lead singer comes in, 4 to 6, the bass lines. It's like they don't even talk to each other.
Yeah, and that's when it's a business, right? And
yeah,
as a kid, like I was kid following the story of Mötley Crüe, and how many interviews I heard, Ryan, where they said, if one member of Mötley Crüe ever leaves this band, we'll never continue without them. And they did it 17 times.
Well, to be fair, that's how they felt at the time. That's how I look at it. They felt that way at the time, but you're right. It's I'll love you forever.
Yeah. Well, I will never make that claim with you. Okay.
What's that?
That I'll love you forever.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Well, you may never speak again. This might be our last time.
This might be it. You get the Diefenbunker.
So for this next one, Cardiff, what we're going to do is we're going to go about 30 seconds into the song. It's a bit of a longer intro, but because I want to hear the chorus, it gets a while to get to the chorus. So we're going to start 30 seconds to do Merry-Go-Round. But what I like about this one, of course, is we have our first intro or our first, I think I'm right, of acoustic guitar playing. What do you think of the acoustic guitar being used there?
I'm pretty sure it's still an electric, but just
still electric
distortion. Yeah, I think he's just plucking away on because the way it sounds, I don't think it's actually an acoustic.
Oh, okay.
I've been wrong before.
No,
I have. But yeah, this is a weird song where what is it? Is it a ballad? Is it it picks up? It wasn't. We didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's one of their more mature songs. It's one of their more. That's what I mean. You got double guitar, one sounding sort of. I guess. I'm
clean tone.
Clean. Oh, there you go. There, and then Mick's playing over himself, which he does a bit in this album, not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot overdone.
Yeah. So he's definitely doing it there. He wants you to hear the two dueling guitars going together. That's why I thought it was acoustic, because it seemed like you definitely hear the one that's electric sounding with this, I guess, softer sound behind it. And then, but like you're saying, it does pick up into the kind of a very ripping guitar solo. I love how Vince comes in almost like breathless the way he does that first merry-go-round. They does that very high, almost like gasping merry-go-round.
I believe before you were going to call this one of their more mature songs, but
right,
screaming merry-go-round and round over and over again. It's not.
No, I don't mean lyric-wise. I meant like composition-wise. There's a little bit more going on.
Vince, we got nothing. Scream about what you see in the park. Go.
Well, is it a play on words? That's what I've always wondered. Is it a play on words?
Is it Mary as in...
That's how I always... I know I read it. Of course, I see the title. It's Mary as the actual playground merry-go-round. Have you ever been hit in the head with one of those? Remember back in the day?
I've not had the pleasure.
I've seen it happen. I don't think it's ever happened to me, but they can be quite the dangerous. Back when we were kids, when they didn't have the safety, because now they have like the safety, they slow it down. You can't go fast.
My playground was made out of wood.
Oh, okay. That's not well. That's safe. Mine was made out of metal, like metal, legit, hot in the summer. You know, like you literally get burns on your skin going down the slides and things like that. But I always wondered. I feel like it has this spinning feeling. The song actually has this spinning feeling. The way he's singing it, the way it moves. But I always just pictured. I don't know why I thought it was like almost like a girl spinning named Mary as well. I don't know if it's a play on words or if I'm overthinking a very simple play on words. All right, so side one ends with "Take Me to the Top."
Where?
Top. This next part coming up is so cool. That's all. I just love this. Again, I don't know what effect or what he's using, Mick, but I love the way the guitar sounds coming up. What are your thoughts on that? You know the part I'm talking about. It has that. I don't know how to.
Yeah, he's doing like a pick scraping and a little bit of like a flange, I guess, on there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just going down the neck, scraping the pick as he's hitting that note. That's again, Mick. It's there's a lot of stuff Mick does on this album that you can tell it was all done in the same time frame. Like these are all songs written close together. He was kind of using Nicky playing bass. They use a lot of the same tricks over and over again on this album, right? It all comes together so well. Nicky had a great little bass line on this song,
okay,
where he does something which is a little more
accomplished or
tougher,
or
just for the like again, the guy always told the story is where he thought he was stealing a guitar, but he stole a bass, and so he started playing bass. Like that's how he became a bass player, because he thought he was stealing a guitar and he stole a bass. So the guy didn't know the difference between the instruments. I don't think is going to be the greatest of musicians.
That's so Nicky. That's just so Nicky.
Yeah, but he had he had a pretty good bass line.
I'll say this. I'm not saying it's my worst pick, but this is one of my, I say criticism is not the right word either. This is an example of where the chorus is not better than the lead up. I find the chorus in the song a little bit more jarring.
Oh yeah, blow me. Like it just kind of fade. Like they didn't have a lot for the, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like it's such a great build up. The guitar, the way Vince sings it. And then when we get to the chorus, I feel like I'm pulled back a little bit. And it's not the first song that does this that I've heard in my life, of course, but this is an example of great lead up to the chorus, but the chorus kind of pulls you back a little bit. It's not,
again, it's a lot of the stuff on this album. There's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of like fill. There's a lot of build-ups to some song. Like I don't think they writing lyrics at that point, any of them were rather good at. So it's get what you can, get what works, and repeat it again.
Not just the chorus lyrics, sorry, the styling of the singing, the composition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I meant lyrically too. It just kind of just falls off.
So I don't know if I'm taken to the top quite with this chorus rendition. Doesn't mean it's my worst pick. Let me make that clear, lest I spoil the ending of the show. We see what I mean? I'm sort of like, dang, it's a little bit.
It's the name of the song. Yeah, we know. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, but it doesn't mean anything to the song. They just threw it in there.
It has that swingy kind of boppy, almost like a 1950s barber quartet taking me to the top. But then, however, when it gets back to the verse part, it's so cool again right here, coming up right here. I mean, I could listen to that on repeat. I just love the way it slides like that.
You were enjoying that. You closed your eyes and you felt that.
Jeez. All right. I think it's great. All right. Flip the side over. So I always envision again, early buyers of this album have it on their LP. They've listened to the first side. They're digging this. They're like, wow, this is really kind of cool. This is great. And I'm talking about the electric version because on the leather version, the next song was already on side 1, but they flip it over and then this song comes on, Cardiff. I can only imagine people who turned on side 2, song 1, what they must have thought when they heard this song.
You, I need you, I want you to be my tonight. You need me, you tease me, use you up and throw you away. You fire, taking me higher, don't blow me, don't let me down. You leave me now, I teach you how, come on, let's go all the way.
Was this your guess that my favorite song was going to be? Okay.
That's what I was going to say it was going to be.
I mean,
this is up there for me too. This is the first song I learned to play guitar front to back.
Wow.
This song, I studied the guitar tab for this. It was the only song that got me to focus and learn. I'm going to learn every note of this song.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
This was the one.
Can you sing any of it?
No, very poorly. There is somewhere in this house, unless I threw it out, there's somewhere where I did at a theme park back in I guess it would have been the 90s. They'd have a booth where you could sing your favorite song and record it.
That is hilarious. Yes, I did that too.
A 15-year-old me mistakenly tried to do Home Sweet Home.
That's hilarious.
When they played the tape outside, people were laughing at me. I thought I was a rock star and they were laughing at me.
I did the same thing. It was basically a karaoke on tape. So you would sing in the booth and you get, I have $20
one
too.
And you get a tape singing.
Yes, it was like $20. Yeah. Which you can do for almost free now with their technology now. But yeah, I did the same thing. You know what song I did? It was from Poison. I did Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Of course, I know. And you know what? That'd be funny if we could both find our own tapes. Because I swear I kept it too.
I've looked for it. I think I destroyed it. I think I was embarrassed.
Oh, I was embarrassed. But you know what? Here's the thing. Yes, I would dare say yours probably sounds better than my. I can't sing either, but I will say this: there's a part of you when you're doing it, you get the feeling if this is what it's like to be a rock star in a booth. I think that's the idea. You get to live that vicariously. Like this is so cool to sing. But yeah, when you listen to it back, you're like, no, that sounds terrible. Okay. Now, what I love about the song even more, the whole intro to the song, I think it's the hardest rockin' song. It's the heaviest song. It's got the heaviest chords of all the other songs on this album. And it's funny, they don't play this every show. When I saw them live on the Dr. Feelgood tour, thank goodness they played this. They played this at my show. I've looked at some of their set lists. They don't play this as much. They play Live Wire all the time. Yeah, they don't play this one every concert, which is weird. I don't know why. Because you think this would be something they would always play? Am I overthinking the song or over fanning the song?
Oh, it's one of the longer ones from the album. I don't know if it's that. Like, it's definitely not any longer than stuff from Feel Good or whatever. That's weird that they wouldn't.
I think
I don't know why they wouldn't like it.
They played it at my Feel Good show, so at least I got to experience once live. Now this next part, it's just we know it's the longest solo I think Mick's ever done. Yeah, on any album,
and even this, he brings out the slide guitar a lot on this, and it was what? Like, why is this metal guy using a slide? Like, why is he using a? And I know it's been done before. I know Mick didn't invent that, but the way he did it was just, it came out of nowhere on some of these songs. Like, this is fucking cool.
And
Like
then
that,
he used it even more on Dr. Feelgood. You totally used it on that album. Without You was a big one.
Primal Scream.
Primal Scream. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Remember that Without You?
Yeah.
Doing? Yeah.
with the pedal guitar actually.
Oh, okay. I love Tommy's cymbal work there. Just love that build up. Again, the band all working together. Tommy's like that, and then the driving bass by Nicky, and they're like, you're listening to this for the first time, thinking, "Oh, this is cool. It's a great driving," but then it doesn't stop, and then it keeps going. And then it's just Mick with
There's a lot of building in the song throughout. Like it's constantly getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And then you just have Tommy's like cymbal with just a guitar, which is such a great. You don't hear that very often, where it's just the guitar without any other instrument playing, and just a little bit of a tap from the drummer to keep Mick's timing. So imagine again being a kid hearing that for the first time. I mean, I remember I guess I'm talking about me when I heard this. Again, I was familiar with Dr. Feelgood, of course, Shout the Devil. So when I heard this song, I was like, oh, they were doing this right away. They were doing these songs right away. Here we go, Piece of Your Action. It was like, this was sort of the early Kickstart My Heart. Like you knew that they had this type of drive in their right from album one.
But again, I got to point out, I love you guys, but the lyrical lacking. Verse 3. Repeat verse 1, right? Like they had this good song, but they couldn't come up with a third verse, but they knew the song had to be longer, right? Like there was more to it. And repeat verse 1 again. It's like, oh, come on, guys.
It's funny that you say that. I think Bob Rock on, of course, Feel Good. I believe it was the reason why that album is, it actually, it's their most, talk about mature now, because it's fair to say mature now, is because I think Bob did push Nicky to write better songs. I think that was the biggest thing. He wanted Nicky to write deeper songs with more lyrics. That's why the Dr. Feelgood track is just so much in it, and that's why Vince can't sing it today. There's too many lyrics.
Too many words.
Too many words. Yeah. All right. Next song, Starry Eyes.
She'll hold you like a man's supposed to be held. I can't get into words how we feel. We'll get it right in the sun. No, no, no. Set her free. Needed a friend to come back to me. Starry eyes. Whoa. Starry
I love Mick's guitar on this song. On some of the stuff, it's almost like playing a more rhythm roll to Nicky.
Okay.
But just the sound of it, it's amazing. I love it.
It's a great song. It's a song I think when I first listened to it, I might not have been as enamored by it as I am later. I think it's, and I love that about songs. I love it when songs grow because they end up being the songs you like the most. It's hard to explain. Of course, you know this. You listen to a lot of music because there's always songs like Live Wire. You get it right away. You get it right away. Doesn't mean you get bored of it necessarily, but you kind of get it right away. I like this song. But then Starry Eyes comes along. You're like, I don't know. Do I like this song? Do I like it? But as time goes on, you're like, oh yeah, there's a lot going on here, and it's a good song. I'm not saying it's my favorite because I already used that. I've already used that. What do you call it? My favorite card has already been used.
But yeah,
so okay, I got a question for you. We only have 2 songs left. Do you think I've heard my worst song on the album yet? What's your guess? Do you think I don't say the song, but do you think I have?
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting. When I give my reveal, I want you to tell me why, and we'll find out if you're right or wrong. Yeah.
Well, I want to hear what it is.
Oh, yeah. Not yet. Not yet. We will.
How?
Okay. Well, if I tell you now, it's going to ruin the whole show.
Already ruined.
Yeah. Is it the best solo on the album, do you think?
It's up there, but I love Piece of Your Action.
Yeah. No, I know. That's the heaviest soul, but there's something special about that one. I don't know what it is, too, though. And the way it rolls
musically,
back,
I guess it's
maybe
more melodic. It's good.
More melodic.
Great.
One thing I love about this album with Vince's vocals and what they did, and maybe they repeated it, but it always works, is just the way Vince comes back in. The way he comes back in is done very well. Soul's done their part, and the way they bring Vince back in, they really nailed that transition very well on this album. Okay, title track, Cardiff.
Yes.
Too Fast for Love. Not to be confused with Too Young to Fall. Do you remember?
I do remember.
I'm going to get to the chorus. This one takes a while to get to the chorus because they just, like you're talking about the repeat, they get there and then they do it again, which is interesting because I think this song is the longest one they took to get to the chorus of all their songs.
This one always seemed to me like one they kind of wrote at the last minute. Like just pieced together. Just fill some time. What's the song? 4 minutes?
So here, Too Fast for Love is 4:11. So, but it is their title track, which is interesting. They chose this. I wonder what other song they would have picked. I don't know why they didn't just call this album at the time. I'm surprised you didn't call it just Mötley Crüe at the time.
Well, no, I think it's the coolest name for a song. Really? It's a cool name for a song, a cool name for an album. Too Fast for Love. What does that mean? Again, of all the songs, I don't think it was they picked it because it was the best song. I think it was the best name. Nicky had that line, "Too Fast for Love," and the only lyric he could think of was "Too fast, right? I'm picking on him a little bit, but it's a good line. It's a great Too Fast for what the fuck is Too Fast for Love?
I think a better title track for this album would have been Merry Go Round.
Yeah, no, I disagree. Take Me to the Top. No, it's got to be Too Fast for Love.
Yeah, that's true. So here's the chorus, folks. All right, rinse and repeat that one. Now, who's singing the background though? Who do they bring in? Because those are female vocals. Is it not? You hear some female vocals mixed in there, or am I wrong?
I think it's all Vince. I think it's layers of Vince.
Oh, really? Yeah. I know he can sing high, but okay.
I've never listened that deeply to that part of it. So yeah, no, maybe.
So this song doesn't have a solo per se, but the way the song ends is kind of interesting because each band member gets a little part. We have the bass, then we have the drum, then we have the guitar. Do a little bit of the classic, like Nicky on the bass, Tommy on the drums, and Mick on the guitar as it outros out. So you got a little bit of a sound effects with each part. What do you think of each band member taking a little kick at the can there as the song outros?
Yeah, get a little solo action. It is a nice way to stretch out that song and just fade it out.
Okay.
Too Fast for Love. That's one where I really do like the alternate intro.
Oh, okay.
Where it's a totally different song. It starts off in a very different song. You were young and crazy. You were young and crazy. You were young and crazy.
You're too fast for love. You're too fast for love. You're too fast. You're too fast. You're too fast for love.
Like, it didn't make sense the first time I heard it. Like, they didn't seem like they were the same song, but now I only hear them together. Like, I love that alternate intro. So check that one out.
I'll check it out. It's been a while if I've heard it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. And that's the thing with, I guess, Spotify. I listen to a lot of my music on Spotify now. I'm almost more at their mercy, whichever version of a song they have in the mix. Sometimes trying to find the album version of something is hard. So I end up going back. If it's bothering me enough, I got to go back and dig out the CD.
Okay, interesting.
To get the actual.
Most versions of anything are on YouTube as well if you search there. All right, last song on the album, On With The Show. I kind of like the idea that it's the last song on the album, but they say it's on with the show. I don't know why I like that. I think it's a good place to put it because the show continues even though the album's over. It's kind of how I look at it. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but they put tracks where they put them for a reason. I think that's what they were doing here. Now, this inspired a lot of songs, I think, in my humble opinion. Dude, this is Mötley Crüe did this a few times in their career. We talked about Girls, Girls, Girls. The name escapes me. What's that ballad that got banned No, it got banned. The name.
Oh, the video got banned.
Yeah, the video got banned because it was.
I was about to say On With The Show, but no.
Yeah.
Holy
You're
crap.
all I need. You're all I need. That's a song. I don't know why more Crüe fans don't talk about how cool that song is. I love the vocal work on that song and the haunting background vocals. They never play that live, ever, that I'm aware of. Maybe on that tour they did. Maybe.
I think that would be a hard one for them to do live, too.
Right. So I think this song is what I'm getting at. Is kind of a precursor to a song that sounds melodic and peaceful, but the lyrics are quite dark. So this is one where I think Nicky gave a little bit more thought to the lyrics. I think this one shows the darker side that Nicky likes to. Yeah, okay.
This is deep.
Freaky died just the other night. Some say it was
You know who Frankie is?
suicide, but we know.
Do you know who Frankie is?
No. I don't
Nicky's
remember.
Frankie.
Oh, Nicky's Frankie? Is this one of his 3 deaths? Has he died yet?
No, this was when he got rid of the name Frankie.
Oh.
That was when Frank Ferrana died, and I became Nicky Six.
Oh. But interesting. I'd forgotten his real name. I thought he was his metamorphosis. I thought he was born Nicky Six.
You thought, huh? No, he was Nicky 5.
Yes, that's John 5. I've got too many numbers. 6 a.m.
How the story goes, with a 6-string knife and a streetlights blind, the boy was the man before his time. She knew all their dreams would come true. See, Frankie was fast, he was too fast to know. He wouldn't go slow until sleep was close. And she knows he
now that I hear him listen to the lyrics, knowing that it's Nicky writing about himself as an artist, I should have. It's very clear. I don't know why I never caught that all these years.
So that's how I got with Mötley Crüe. I needed to know everything about Mötley Crüe.
No, it's great. I love
I
it.
needed to read everything I could find. Like, it was just, I was obsessed. I couldn't have done that with that many bands. Maybe Guns N' Roses, maybe.
That's how I was with Guns N' Roses. I was obsessed. Yeah. You know, like I know their middle names, you know, it's Popcorn Steven Adler, you know, Cowboy Duff McKagan. Obsessed with everything they did.
I think I always made a joke. You know, people would say, you know, give me your number one singer, your number one guitarist, your number one drummer, your number one bassist, and make a super band.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, it'd be Tommy Lee on drums, Vince Neil singing, Mick Mars playing guitar, and Duff McKagan playing bass.
I did not see that coming. That's great. I thought you were just going to say Mötley Crüe. Like, you got me. Good. I love that.
I want Duff.
Duff is a cool guy. He seems like a cool dude. Good for him. Yeah.
Did you see a spoken word tour or whatever?
I didn't.
He did. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
He's got a very weathered face.
He does.
But he looks better now than he did when he was in the 80s and 90s. He had a kind of the alcoholic face that he had.
Yeah.
Frankie's life, and she knew she'd have to pull through.
I hate stopping songs, Cardiff, and I do these music episodes. There's always parts of every song like, I want to keep listening, but that's not why we're here. We have to stop it, or else we just listen to the whole album. But great guitar solo. I think this is a very strong closer. What do you think of this as a closer for the album?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great song. That Mick, I probably should have said on other songs too, but Mick, what I always liked about his solos was how he went deep. Like low, he used all of the neck, and he got a lot of that really crunchy shit. That one I really enjoy though. I really like that solo. I can't play that one. I stink.
I don't know why I had you on the show then. I thought you said you could play all these songs. It's the only reason why I invited
parts of them.
That's the bonus part of the episode is you're now going to play all the songs live on the air.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, this is the part of the show that most people look forward to. Is where we pick independent of each other. This is the part where we independent.
So you have a nice format to your show. Usually the guests don't interrupt. I'm throwing you off your game.
No, this is fantastic. Are you kidding me? This is a real treat. I don't mind saying this is very, very much a treat. No, I love it. Yes, again, we'll pick independent of each other what we feel is the worst song. Doesn't mean we hate the song, or we'll say why. There have been episodes where I've done where it's been a very easy pick. I mean, I have to go through all the ones we've done before. Oh, well, here's one. Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. It's in my top 5 albums, just very easily, if not top 3, top 2. Like, this is one of the best albums ever created. Yeah. But there's a song on there that I can't, I just, anything goes. I'm just like, that's the one that can go. Anything goes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just my way, your way, anything go. Anyways, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a hokey. Compared to the rest of the album, it's the hokiest of the songs. Welcome to our episode of Appetite for Destruction.
Yes. Michelle.
Really? That's not yours.
I know. I couldn't be. I'm trying to think. Even this is hard. You asked me to knock a song off of Too Fast for Love.
You have to.
Do I go first?
No, I go first. People want to hear you more than me. So
that's true.
So they want to hear your answer. So my pick. So when I say it, if it's yours, don't say that's mine too. We'll just wait. Okay. All right. So my pick.
That's mine too.
Is the title track, Cardiff. Too Fast for Love. Yeah. The reason being is a couple of reasons. One, it's the chorus. I don't like the chorus. It's too bop. It's just, again, it doesn't quite fit the rest of the album the way the chorus is sung, and it repeats itself over and over again. And then lastly, there's no guitar solo. I kind of hinted at the end where they all have a little bit of a part to play at the end, bass, drummer, guitar. There's no mix solo in the song. It's a longer, it's 4+ minutes. They couldn't squeeze in a mix solo. They decided to do the Too Fast for Love. And the chorus it's just silly. Too fast for love. That's why I asked, is it Vince singing or did they bring in some, strippers from the strip or something? It just seems a little bit out of place compared to the other songs. Yeah, I like it. I never skip it. This is what I mean. I don't hate the song at all. I'm just saying this is the song I would have to take off. I'm sticking to my guns. Yes, even though I might not be the toast of the town, I'm sticking to my guns, and that is "Too Fast for Love" is my pick for worst song on the album. It doesn't mean it's a bad song. It's just my least favorite.
My pick is also "Too Fast for Love."
Oh, wow! Okay. Why?
I hate to say it, but it could also be "On with the Show." Believe it or not.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. No, it's definitely "Too Fast for Love."
That can happen too, where you have one that you're fighting with. There's a couple. That's interesting that "On with the Show" was in your brain for discussions.
Only because I love everything else so much. Like,
that's fair. Yeah.
Everything else is so, like, there's something on every song that's just magic. And those are the ones. Yeah, I don't know. But "Too Fast for Love," it's gonna be. But again, I do feel like it was kind of a song they pieced together. The riff is very basic. The lyrics are very basic. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It feels to me like, okay, we're not putting "Stick to Your Guns" on. We need 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. But it's still, I love it. Like I said, I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. But if I have to kill one of these kids,
you have to. That's the name of the game.
Then I have to kill that one.
Some albums are easier than others, like I said. But this is a fun, great debut.
Generation
album.
Swine would not be hard. I'll give you 3 or 4.
Slow down. We'll say that for our next episode. That's why the show is called The Worst of the Best, is because you have to pick something that you enjoy.
It's a fantastic concept. You should be much bigger than you are.
Oh, I'm so small. I'm a small potato, literally. Yeah. But I appreciate that. Yeah, I like the idea. It was actually my brother's idea. I do the show with my brother regularly, but the brother I started with was a different brother. He retired from the podcasting world, but it was his concept that he came up with. And what it was is he was listening to Pearl Jam's Vitology. I don't know if you're familiar with Pearl Jam's albums or okay. So he's listening to Vitology. He was listening to Vitology.
Did you just ask me if I'm familiar with Pearl Jam? We've obviously established I was alive in the 90s.
Well, not everyone's. Sorry, I should have said, are you a fan of theirs? My apologies. Okay. Are you familiar with Whitney Houston?
I have heard of the lady.
That's what I meant to say. So I should have worded it better. That are you familiar with their work? So, anyways, that being said, Vitology has the song "Bugs" on it. So he's listening to the album. And he's like, "Boy, Bugs is such a garbage song on such an incredible album." So the thought occurred to him, like, you could have something that's so great that you enjoy, but there might be something on that thing that's sort of the fly in the ointment. Okay. This was a fantastic exercise to do with you, Cardiff. Truly great to have a fan of the band to come on and talk about this legit fan. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Good. I hope so. Remember, in front of every silver line, there's a cloud. And today, for both of us, we agreed. My guest and I agreed. It was "Too Fast for Love."